Here we go. Let's draw this cute little gnome. I want you to find just about the middle of your paper. And if this is the middle of your paper, I want you to draw the nose of your gnome right there. So it's going to be just a tiny bit off center, but that is fine. We're not worrying about that because we're going to fill that space later. From this nose, we are going to make one little mustache tuft and another. So it's like an arched curvy line that has a fancy tip on it. And then we come back and just meet that right there. Easy peasy. Then we can add Santa's little mouth. He's so happy. And for now, we're going to move up and we're going to add the trim on Santa's hat. So where you have your nose, we're going to make a little arch. We don't need to leave a lot of room, but let's make an arch. And then let's make an arch just above it, kind of the same. So it sort of looks like we're drawing a rainbow. And then we're going to connect those two with a little droopy line. Kind of looks like a noodle. A nice piece of macaroni. And then for Santa's eyes, I just did two little arches because he's a happy little gnome. On the sides of the hat here, let's do this, and that can be part of his beard. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we've got his face and his mustache. And now right in the middle, we can do this. It's kind of an onion shape. So you go down, like sort of like the bottom of a heart. And then you do the same thing there. And then between these two, we'll do the same thing. So we're adding another little piece of beard. And we'll do that over here as well. And they don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. It's all right if they're not. Not super worried about that. And then let's go around that mustache and make another piece of beard. And we'll do the same thing over here. So we're closing it in. And then we'll put another one in the middle. And you can keep going to the ground if you want to, but I'm just going to put a couple more. So I'm going to put one more on each side here. And then I'll finish it out with one in the center. So now we've got the beard finished. Let's skip down a little bit, give him some space. We're going to add Santa's boots that are sticking out from under his cloak. And they're like a sideways capital D, sort of like a Mickey Mouse shoe. On top of those shoes, well, between the shoes, let's do, it's a little furry line. It's the fur that's on the bottom of Santa's outfit. So it's a little bit wiggly. And then above it, we'll add another wiggly line for that fur trim. And then we'll connect them with a wiggly line. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. Then in the center, we'll do kind of a big wiggly line, and that's the fur that is coming down the front of his coat. Now, it's tempting to try to make Santa have really, really long arms, but we don't need to do that. We're going to give him some short arms. There's a lot of Santa arm under this beard. So you're going to come out not very far here, and we're going to make a little wiggly line, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side about the same width away from that beard. Then you're going to make a wiggly line on the other side. Same over here, and just connect them. So those are his cuffs. So then we just make a straight line out from his beard to those. And that's the top of his coat. For the bottom part, we can come in from that cuff and we'll stop just before we hit that beard. And then when we go down to meet this trim on the bottom, let's curve a little in, but out a lot. So we have a nice, big, billowy coat on our Santa Claus. We can give him some mittens. So for the mittens, we always want our little thumb up. And then we can come around, and you want to kind of come inside that cuff, like so. And we'll do the same over here. So we're going to have our thumb up, and then we'll come around onto the inside of that cuff. He is looking so cute. Okay, for our hat, let's make one line up like this. And then over here, we're going to make a big hump that goes over and kind of comes up and out. From where we made the little hump, let's go down and swerve up. And then we can put the ball right on the end of his cap. So now there's your Santa gnome. You can get creative with your environment from here if you don't want to draw yours underneath a mushroom. But here's what I'm going to do. All right. Step 1. Right here, kind of over Santa's shoulder, let's make, it's almost like a little skirt. And then we're going to make a point in the middle and a point out to the side. This is going to be the little collar on our mushroom, but we're going to make it like an elf collar, and we're going to give it jingle bells. So I'm going to put a dot and a line, a dot and a line, and that's going to help it look like a jingle bell. Awesome. For the bottom of this mushroom, we're going to come down, and we're kind of going to make this round, and then we'll make this round as well. We don't have the ground yet, so we can go ahead and add that. We can add the ground over here too. But there's our ground. And we've got the bottom part of our mushroom. And now we can add the top part of our mushroom. So this is going to simply be the rest of the stalk. It's going to come up a little taller than Santa's head. Like so. And then this part will round up just a little bit. Now we're going to add the cap of the mushroom. And what I want you to know is the cap is going off the page. We don't see the whole entire mushroom cap, and that's all right. This Santa gnome is the very important part of our drawing, so that's what we're going to concentrate on. And we're going to make a dashed line that kind of goes up and back down. So we can go up, around, down, and right off of the page. In each of these little dashes, we're going to make a little peak. This is like where our mushroom is stretching apart. And these are triangles, they can be curvy, they can be tiny, they can be regular. Whatever you want to do. So that is the top of our mushroom. Now let's add, it's almost like a small curved line, but it goes behind everything we have already drawn. So it's going to be about here, come through here, and then back up. And we don't see all of this mushroom because it's really big compared to our paper. Now, lines inside the mushroom for the gills. Right here at the top, we're going to go straight up. And then we're going to radiate out a little bit. So let's do that here as well. See how that kind of is like an umbrella? That's what we're going to keep doing with these lines here. And we're going to go up. And then we're going to start curving a little bit as we come down. So for a while, we're beginning at the same point, but ending at different points. Over here, the same thing is happening. And then we're going to kind of go around, and by the time we get down here, we're going all the way down. I'm going to turn my paper a little bit. So we're going to keep adding these, and we can start coming to a different starting point now. And they're starting to go down to the other side. And then they'll start wrapping all the way downward. And over here, we'll do the same thing. So we're going to bring them out. We're going to give it a little bit of that roundness here. And then we'll kind of just fill this in with imaginary lines that make sense to us. And as we get back over here, we'll go downward and finish out those little gills toward the back. So that's the bottom of Santa's little mushroom shelter here. And we can put really any pattern we want up on the top. I'm going to leave that to you. Over here, I'm going to make 3 circles. One that's a little bit smaller, and one that's even smaller. These are going to be our lollipop flowers. So the big one has a stem that comes down this way, and then this one has a stem, and then even our little one has a stem. And in the middle of these, you can just do one little spiral. And they can be going the same way or different ways. I like to draw my spirals that direction. You might like to draw yours the other, but that's fine. All right. Now let's go back to this little like elf collar. I'm going to split each of these points into 2. That way, when I go back to color, it can be red and green, and that's going to be really fun. We're going to add some Christmas lights to this mushroom, and I think that will be really, really cute. So let's start up here, and we're just going to go down and around. And then we'll come out here and go down and swoop around. That got a little wonky, didn't it? And then we'll come out over here and we'll go down, and then it goes behind Santa's hand and comes up and over. And then for the rest of them, we can kind of just come down and go up and over and down and up and over. So now we've got the little string going around, and we can put little lights. So each light is just a little square and a bulb. Wherever you feel you can fit them, you can add another little square and a bulb all the way down. Square and a bulb. And I have an open area right here, so this is a great place to add one. Little square and a bulb. Maybe I'll put one here too. All right, and then I'll come to these ones. I have a square here. Maybe we can't see that whole bulb, but that's okay. And when you gotta go behind stuff, you gotta go behind stuff. So we can do that wherever we want to add one. Wherever you have room for them, wherever you want to add one, I'm going to add one in here. So that is our drawing, and you can add any other things to it that you want. If you want, you can make your, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and I'll make my mushroom go up like that, and then maybe we can see the edge of it over here. But you could make that mushroom spotted. You could put little stars on it. You can put extra vegetation, whatever you like, but I am done with mine. So I'm going to go ahead and sign it. So there we have our cute little Santa under his mushroom.